Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and this one is one of mine. It seems weird me saying this, but it feels like it's been a little while since I did one of my own, so I'm doing one now. So for this one we are going to be on a route that has not appeared in any of these videos so far, largely because I've not had it for very long. So we are on the Scottish East Coast Main Line, and we are starting at Dundee, and we will be finishing at Edinburgh, Waverley, which means we're going to be taking in some pretty impressive sights along here. We'll be going over the Tay Bridge and over the Forth Bridge. So yeah, two properly impressive bridges. And yeah, it's also an extremely scenic route as well, so this should be good. Now, as far as the train itself, I very much doubt this train ever actually came up to this part of the UK, but nevertheless, I don't think it's a bad choice actually. So we're in the class 180, a 5-car train. So diesel electric loco, which is certainly needed because this line is not electrified. So total journey distance is just shy of 60 miles. Now as far as stops, I think we're going to treat this as a very express run. We will do one stop at Concorde, and that will be it. So yeah, Dundee to Edinburgh with one stop at Concorde. As far as the specifics, I wanted to make sure, you know, because of all the bridges and the scenery that we'll be able to see, I wanted a decent view of it. So yeah, it's summer, it's clear weather, it's currently 3 PM. So that's the setup. Let's get things underway. And here we are. So yeah, here is our 180 at Dundee station. That yeah, that 2-car 158 isn't going very far because it's got to wait for us before it can move. So there we are. So Dundee station, considering Dundee isn't exactly a minor town, I thought there would be more at this station than there actually is. I did also want a 180 with a better, or you know, a more accurate livery. And I had a look for some livery updates for this thing. I didn't have a great deal of luck. Anyway, let's just bung in. There we go. So we got that all set up. Let's get our lights sorted out. Daylight running. I'm pretty sure that is everything. We haven't got to set up a great deal in this thing. So we'll take one last look outside with our lights all set. That 158 is desperately waiting for us to leave. There is a freight train up there that is on the go. So let's get underway. So as I was saying, yes, I did want to find a improved, or you know, a more accurate livery for the 180 for around here. And I did find one. In fact, it did far more than improve the liveries. It also improves the performance of the 180, especially in the braking department, because the brakes on the 180 are utterly hopeless. But having downloaded it, I then started reading through the installation instructions, and for fuck's sake, they were enough to give you a real headache. I couldn't fucking barely make out a word that was being said, so I gave up. So yeah, we are in the Grand Central liveried 180, which certainly didn't operate as far north as Dundee. I don't think they went anywhere near Scotland. So that line that the freight train is on, we have another freight train approaching us here. This is another 66, just as we've got a few trains down there. But yeah, that line would take you on to Perth, and to be fair, I could have gone that route, but I decided to take this one. We are now on a 1 in 53 uphill section as we are approaching the Tay Bridge. So, yep, here we are. And you'll see, I don't know if it's this end or the other end. I think it must be the other end. You see what look like rocks within the water. In fact, what they are parts of the, or what's left of the pillars of the original Tay Bridge, the one that collapsed in 1871, I believe it was, with the train still on the bridge crossing it during the storm. So yeah, here we are. So these, yeah, the remains of the original Tay Bridge there. I mean, it is a long old bridge, there is no getting away from that. And it's not until we reach these more reinforced sections that we can go any faster than 25. Admittedly not a hell of a lot faster, we can go up to 35. That is our max speed at any point on the Tay Bridge. So this class 180 can do 125 mph, but I am pretty sure 1887, I think that's when this bridge went up rather than when the old bridge collapsed. We can now do 35, but yeah, as I say, I don't think there is anywhere on this route where I will get the chance to do the max speed of this train. There's no 125 mph sections in between Dundee and Edinburgh. So yeah, still plenty of the bridge to go. Hey, this is quite the long old structure, this. So once we are off here, we will be entering a 65 mph zone, and yeah, significant speed increase. I mean, it's entirely understandable why we couldn't increase our speed up until that point. So there we are, that was the Tay Bridge crossed. Properly decent building there. Well, structure, building, you know what I mean. It's certainly an impressive sight. And the impressive sights don't end there, because now we get quite a bit of really impressive scenery as we make our way south to Edinburgh. And like I say during the intro, that does mistime the brake application, but yeah, that does include the fourth bridge. Yeah, we are on a 1 in 96 downhill section. Okay, it has leveled out a bit now. We're also in a 75 mph zone, so yeah, let's get some proper speed up. I'm fairly certain 75 is the top speed for the majority of this route. I think that was a 47. So not entirely sure what that station was. Class 37 there. It is quite a winding, yeah, quite a winding track for large parts of this. We are now going uphill. No wonder we were losing a lot of speed there. See if I can try and keep our speed at a constant rather than see, here we go again. See, he's really snaking through this section. As soon as we finish turning one way, we are then turning in the other, and this does happen quite a bit on here. which would certainly explain why the speed limit doesn't go any higher than 75 for most of this route. We have a speed reduction to 55 in 1.5 miles just prior to the next station, which is Lucas. We will not be stopping there. As I said in the intro, our one and only stop along the route will be Concorde. I think we're going to need to brake fairly hard at them in well, any second, because this downhill section looks quite steep. 1 in 48, yes it is. And we've also got to get our speed down to 55. This is once again where the Class 180's rather dreadful brakes really show themselves. So we are down to the speed we need anyway. Still 1 in 57 down the hill, so yeah, we can't stop braking just yet. Now I think we're all right. So here is Lucas station. Yeah, there are still semaphore signals being used on this route. Not for the whole thing, but yeah, they do still crop up. The speed, max speed has now got up to 70, so let's get some power in there. And it will very soon be going up to 75, and then in 1.5 miles up to 85. So you go, we're in the 75 section now. And yeah, that's me not paying attention to acceleration rate. This thing always accelerates a lot better than I expect it to, without fail. So all these sort of like curves and that, where the track is very twisty, it does have a habit of sort of suddenly lurching to one side. And seeing as I never really give a moment's thought to the passengers that I'm taking on any of my trips, yeah, they're probably not enjoying the most comfortable of rides. Anyway, speed limit is now up to 85, so yeah, this is the fastest we've been able to go so far on this route. So this 85 limit didn't last very long. We got to drop down to 65 again in just under 1.5 miles. So while in that view we did have the AWS alert for the speed reduction, but I have been very gradually reducing speed, and yeah, we're now fine. So next station in a mile and a half, I don't know if it's Cooper, yeah, one of those. Another speed reduction just before we get there. It takes us down to 55. No. But once we leave there, it's not long before we get a 100 mph section. That I wasn't expecting. We should certainly be able to take full advantage of that. So speed wise we are fine. So yeah, we're into the 55 section now. Here is old Cooper station. Quite the quaint location. Doesn't look too bad at all. Right, so into the 60, now into a 75. And we're less than a quarter of a mile from a 100 zone, so yeah, we can really get some power up. So we are entering the 100 now. And we're now in it, so yeah, let's see how long we can keep this on for. So we're approaching Springfield. Well, we're going to be tearing through there at full speed. Except we're going to have to be braking while we're going through there. Okay, we won't be able to get to 100 because with how bad the brakes are on this thing, you know, I'm having to coast already in order to make sure we, in fact I've got to put some slight brakes on, there we go, just to make sure we're fine for that 85 section. So here is Springfield station, again really nice location. Another wonderfully scenic part of Scotland, no doubt about it. further speed reduction to 60 in a mile and a half as we approach Ladybank station. We may need to brake, well, very hard by most train standards. By this thing, yeah, it's not going to slow us down at a hell of a rate, but we should be okay by the time we reach that 60 mph zone. But yeah, I have rather overdone it. Another 37 there. So we're fine as far as speed goes now. There's no shortage of class 37s around here. So we're in the 60 zone. Here is Ladybank station. One platform significantly longer than the other. We're now into the 75 zone. So we can start putting some speed up. And we are fast approaching an 80 mph zone. We're now in the 85. Probably getting quite close to the 5 circle line, because we do join that. So again, we'll coast for a bit. We need to lose 10 mph within a mile and a half. If we're coasting, I don't think we'll have any trouble doing that. We may need to brake a little. So there we go, we're fine for that section. We're still half a mile from it. So we're into the 75 zone. This rather long curve is clearly why we have the speed reduction. And now we're into the 85 zone. Yep. And we have a downhill section fast approaching. Markinch station coming up in a mile and a half with a 75 mph speed limit as we enter it. Goes down to 60 as we exit it, only for a short while before going back up to 75 again. But yeah, with this downhill section, 1 in 69, this is quite steep, so we are going to have to brake fairly hard here. It's not really the 75 we're having a brake for, it's the 60 section that's after the station. There we go, we're okay now. Here is Markinch station. Looks like one of the more industrialised parts of Scotland there. So we are into a 75 zone, but it is less than a mile and a half before we are back down to 60 again. In fact, yeah, we'll coast for a bit. We don't want our speed to go up too high because then it would just make the braking for the 60 mph part rather awkward. We are approaching an uphill section which will help with slowing us down. Here we are, yeah, 1 in 103 uphill section. So we're now fine as far as speed for the 60 zone is concerned. So this section goes on for nearly a mile and a half. So we are, yeah, we're in it now. That looks like a 165 there. Did not expect to see one of those around here. A very slow moving light aircraft up overhead. There's another couple of 37s we just passed. There's no shortage of other trains along this line. Freight train coming up. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Yeah, it is another 37. So 85 zone entered now. But it's not long before it goes down to 75, so I would just treat this as a 75 mph zone. Now less than 30 miles from Edinburgh Waverley. So we're now in the 75 zone. I mean, we've been doing 75 for a bit anyway. Not familiar with this area. Couldn't tell you what that was. So Concorde station is coming up next, and that is where we join the Fife Circle line. We're already fine as far as that speed reduction to 50 goes. We are going to need to lose a bit more speed though. This is our one stop. So we're into the 50 zone. Trying to see what train that is. Looks like 31. Yeah, pretty sure it was 31. So yeah, really having to brake hard for this thing. Because its brakes are so, well, they're fucking useless, to be honest. So there we are. Doors shut. That announcement sounded a bit sort of loud and that for was a relatively small station like Concorde. Okay, so the line speed limit has gone up to 75, but yeah, in just 2,000 mile it goes down to 65, so we will treat this as 65 from the off. So no more stops now until we reach Edinburgh Waverley itself, which is at 25 miles from here. That looks like, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, the emergency brakes kicked in. I didn't see the AWS until it was too late. It's really annoying that they should have it so we could hear the AWS while it's you know, while we are looking at the exterior shots. So now I've got to somehow get our speed up while we are on a 1 in 47 uphill section. In fact, we're doing it a lot better than I thought we were going to. I'm trying to think, that football ground there, well, if this is Concorde, that must be Race Rovers. Alright, what we've got coming up here, another 158. Don't recognise that livery at all. So Kinghorn is the next station. Yeah, we're just going to go straight through it. We won't exactly be blasting through it though, we can only be doing 45. And then it drops down to 30 on the approach to the tunnel there. That must be an avalanche tunnel. We must be approaching the coast. Yeah, we are. And I'm coming in too quickly. Yeah, there we are. So I know I've braked way too early. I mean, the 45 zone doesn't start for as near as, damn it, half a mile, but well, we're there now anyway. I think, okay, yeah, that alert was for the 45 zone. I thought it might have been for the 30. That's for the 30. Really need to brake heavy again. Here we are at Kinghorn Station. Fantastically scenic locale once again. Yeah, I was braking quite hard for the 30 mph tunnel. I think I may have overdone it slightly actually. This tunnel is very short. I'm not entirely sure why it's only 30 mph, but nevertheless it is. So on leaving it, we are entering a 65 zone. Just wait for the rest of the train to get in there. There we go. Right, let's throttle up. This 65 zone ends in 1.5 miles as we approach. Yeah, now I still don't know if this is Burnt Island or Burnt is Land. The fact that it is all one word has me thinking it is Burnt is Land, but yeah, I really don't know. Looks like, yeah, steam train coming along. I don't know which one, but whoa, what the fuck happened there? That looks like it's derailed. Due to player collision, but I did not collide with anything there. Well, let's see if we can resume. Okay, right. We're going to go back a few stops anyway. So, here we are. So, Burnt is Land we were just approaching. So, okay. We're going to miss a couple of stops then. We will start or restart at Inverkeithing. And, yeah, carry on at Waverley. So, yeah. Well, that ruined what had been a really great run up until that point. The only thing I can assume is that that steam train that was approaching was wide, and they, you know, the two sides must have collided. But yeah, I certainly did not do anything there that would have resulted in yeah, a derailing. And I mean, to be honest, neither did the AI train that I was passing. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, we are now at Inverkeithing station, so we have missed a couple of stops, but yeah, if I was going to get underway again, then I kind of needed to. There's clearly a 37 there waiting for us. This looks like a 50 that's approaching. No, I think it is only a 47. No, it was a 50. Right, anyway, let's get back underway. So we are in a 30 mph zone at the moment. So I can't accelerate too quickly. I mean, it is about to go up to 50. But not for very long. Alright, so we are in a yeah, we're in the 50 zone. This tunnel is relatively long. Let's put our number back in. Not set the lights either. There we go. Right, now I've got to slam the brakes on because, yeah, we're approaching a 40. Managed that quite well. Mind you, we're helped by the fact we're on a 1 in 72 uphill climb. So North Queensferry is approaching. You know what that means, and why that 50 mph speed limit is there. So we're now in the 60 zone. We are passed by another 165. Did not expect to see those around here. So I'll just take us up to 50 and keep us at that speed. We are approaching the fourth bridge. Yeah, you can tell the age this DLC was made. There is no sign of the other bridge, the other side of the fourth road bridge there. I can't imagine the Scottish people have seen too many Class 180s going over this. We passed the Class 67 there. That's 67 with all the Caledonian sleeper coaches. That's a fairly weighty train. I mean, it's certainly nowhere near the weight limit of the fourth bridge, but nevertheless, it's still a fair amount. So as we enter Dalmeny station, Dalmeny, however you pronounce it. Yeah, speed is now up to 60 mph, and we are fast approaching a 90 mph zone. We are less than 10 miles from Edinburgh Waverley. Here we've got there's a class 71 side of us, a class 66 the other, both of which, yeah, having to wait for us to go get by. Okay, so 90 mph zone. We won't be able to get anywhere near 90 because we have a 75 limit coming up. But it's very, very short before we can then go back to travelling at 90 again. In fact, that gap between the 75 and resuming the 90 is smaller than the length of this train. So yeah, let's keep it at 75 for now, and then we'll take it up to 90 once we're actually in a clear section that will allow us to do so. Well, it looks like it will be clear anyway. It looked like Concorde was landing over there. I very much doubt Concorde landed in this part of Britain. Okay, so yeah, we're into the 90 again. We're on a 1 in 76 downhill. So yeah, that area, yeah, you can see Concorde there. So not only did it land, it was able to taxi at a really quick old rate. I forgot that I'd left this so far away. Here we go. So South Gyle, the next station, we'll be tearing through that one. We are actually losing speed. We have to slow down in about 1.25 miles anyway, about 75 once again. So we won't be going through South Gyle at well, anywhere near max speed. So yeah, South Gyle is yeah, not a particularly memorable station. Okay, 75 section now. You can clearly see why the speed reduction was there. So we are back into 90 again. well, we'll keep full throttle for as long as we can, but obviously this 50 mph section in a mile and a half means we're not going to get up to 90, that is for sure. So Haymarket station in just shy of a mile and a half, which means that Waverley is certainly not too far behind. By now, almost a traditional, I have to say the rendering of Murrayfield here is much better than it is in the 5 circle line version. Alright, yeah, I'm coming in way too fast. Didn't pay any attention to, first of all, the 50. We got flashing yellows as well. So I am speeding. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but this next one, this could be bad. Actually, I think we might get away with it. There we go. So we have managed to slow down in time for this. So that 158 is having to wait for us to... I don't think we're taking this line. I think we're going to keep on going down to the next one. Yeah. So here we are at Edinburgh Haymarket, which of course did used to be the yeah, it did used to be the terminus. So we can go up to 40 again. I'm not sure it's a good idea. Because, yeah, this 20. And yeah, I went up, well, very nearly to 40 anyway. So that 20 is clearly more points. Which it is, yeah, moving us to, I don't know which line. I mean, obviously we are going to be making our way to platform 9 at Waverley. Maybe it isn't any more points. So we have double yellow here, so yeah, we are fine. So we're into the 20 zone. Okay, maybe we are going to be changing then. Because we've got a train right dead ahead. Yeah, there we go. So that 158 that's in front of us. Yeah, we're obviously, well, you could say we are holding him up. Okay, so all the yeah, the entire train is on the platform. We can pretty much stop wherever we like now. So there we are. Well, it did get interrupted somewhat, but yeah, that was Dundee to Edinburgh Waverley. Yeah, that whole business with the derailment properly ruined the thing, because prior to that it had been absolutely fucking great. Like, great scenery. It's a great drive. And you know, so you've got the Tay Bridge and the Forth Bridge as well. It's a great route, no question. It's just, yeah, not thrilled about that derailment. It must have been, like I say, God knows why there was a steam train there, but it must have been that, yeah, the carriages of the two must have struck each other. So yeah, if there hadn't been a train passing us, or even if it had been, you know, anything other than a steam train perhaps, then it would have been all right. But yeah, so yeah, that did rather spoil things, to put it mildly. But so moving that to one side, it's a fantastic route, and yeah, I suspect this is not going to be the only time it appears in this playlist. The Class 180 is what it is. You know, it's got abysmal brakes. The acceleration is okay, but I mean, you don't really need super fast acceleration or super top speed for this route, because, well, there was a short section where we could do 100, but yeah, other than that very small section there, yeah, we're never going in three-figure you know, speeds. So you don't need a 180 for this route, that is for sure. But there we go. So that is that one done. Dundee to Edinburgh. Good stuff. So yeah, that is this video's done and dusted, and we'll see you at the next one.